You might not know this, but Britain has some of the craziest gangs in the world. Some of the stories and facts about these gangs will shock you. From a mafia involved in the largest cash robbery in British history to one of the wealthiest crime families in Britain with a suspected net worth of £200 million. Here are the top 10 most dangerous street gangs in the UK. Number 1 will definitely leave you thinking. Starting off at number 10, the Albanian Mafia. Despite not originating in the UK, the Albanian Mafia control a large majority of the drug trade in London, as well as the trafficking market, and were known as the kings of cocaine for a long time. They also distribute heroin and are known for their armed robberies around the affluent and crime-fueled capital. The Albanian Mafia is made up of clans and families around the world, and typically, each region is controlled by one clan. They were also involved in the largest cash robbery in British history, where they stole £53 million. Wow, $53 million? What do you think they did with this amount of money? Let us know in the comment section below. Number 9. The Burger Bar Boys. Although their origins are uncertain, this vicious gang caused several deaths and shocked the nation. They are also responsible for giving Birmingham the title of gun and gang capital in the UK. The gang's vicious attacks and ruthless killings claimed the lives of 10 people over their 2-decade reign of terror. Despite being formed in the 80s as one of the many vigilante groups to protect their communities in the 90s, after the threat to their groups disappeared, they soon became the oppressors and dealt in crack cocaine and heroin. Territorial disputes and disagreements with other gangs resulted in many innocent lives lost. Number 8. The Bengali Machete Gangs. Yet another gang that is particularly prevalent in London. The Bengali machete gangs have fought on the streets armed with only machetes over the last several years and have cleaved their way through each other with a brutal viciousness and disregard for human life. They're also known to have fought against the next street gang on this list. Number 7. The Somali Street Hoods. These gangs murdered several innocent people around London for seemingly no reason over the last several years. One of the most well-known stories is that of Sadiq Adam, who was murdered by a group of thugs with machetes and samurai swords in Camden. Camden is one of the most affluent and wealthy of the boroughs in London, and is hardly the place you would expect such horrific acts of violence to occur. The Somali Street Hoods and the Bengali machete gangs are responsible for the majority of knife crime in London and are still active to this day, which goes to show how dangerous this great city truly is. Number 6. The Croxtech Crew. Croxtech is a suburb of Liverpool, and the Croxtech Crew is just one of the dangerous gangs located on the Merseyside. The reason this specific gang is so well known is due to the tragic murder of Rhys Jones on the 22nd of August 2007. This innocent 11-year-old boy was just playing football for his local team when he was shot by a member of the Croxtech Crew in a gang shootout. Despite the best efforts to save his life, he died in his mother's arms. This awful event shocked the UK, and the killer, a man named Sean Mercer, who was just 16 at the time, was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum of 22 years. Do you think this is too little for such a terrible crime? Share your opinion in the comments. Number 5. The Kirkstone Riot Squad. This gang is also known as the KRS and is a notorious menace and threat to the peace in Liverpool. They are infamous for scrambled bike incidents where they loudly drag race each other through busy streets and crash into gardens of ordinary citizens. Very few people have been hurt, but they're also known for taking over a bar in April 2017 where they dealt cocaine and attempted to sell alcoholic beverages and drugs to children. While not as dangerous as others on this list, you certainly don't want this sort of behavior in your local area. Number 4. The Lyons Clan. The Lyons Clan is a well-known crime family which operates out of Glasgow and is responsible for an abundance of criminal activities such as fatal shootings, knifings, hit-and-runs, bombings, witness intimidation, and police corruption. They also have a large stake in the drug trade around the UK and are famous for their feud with the next street gang on this list. Number 3. The Daniels Clan. This crime family is also involved with a lot of shooting incidents, knifings, bombings, and other organized criminal activities. The interesting part about this group is its rivalry with the previous gang on this list, the Lyons. The feud goes back more than 20 years, but the chilling effects are still felt to this day. There are 2 main incidents between the 2 families. The first took place in December 2006, when 2 men wearing long black coats and masks walked into a garage owned by one of the Lyons members and started shooting. The shooters were members of the Daniels clan and killed 1 Lyons member and badly injured 3 others. Each gunman received 30 years in prison. This carnage was likely retaliation for the second major event in their history, a drive-by shooting a few weeks earlier when a member of the Daniels gang was shot by an assailant working with the Lyons. This is just one example of a gang rivalry which has split up a community and killed many innocent people. Number 2. The A-Team. This is one of the wealthiest crime families in Britain with a suspected net worth of £200 million. The A-Team, also known as the Adams family, is officially called the Clerkenwell Crime Syndicate and was formed in the 80s by Terry Adams and his family. They are one of the largest drug cartels which are currently active in the UK and are responsible for more than 25 murders. There is very little concrete information about the family because of the secrecy regarding their operations. Their massive list of criminal operations includes extortion, money laundering, arms trafficking, pimping, theft, and much more. If you live in London, you better watch out for this dangerous gang and all their affiliates. Number 1. The Russian Hit Squads. As the most threatening and public concerning street gangs in the UK, Russian hit squads are groups of Russians who were sent by the Russian mafia to seize control of criminal operations in Britain and fuel even more chaos into the streets. A whistleblower from the Kremlin told people that there were links between the Russian government and the Russian gangs that have arrived in the UK in recent years. The informant's name was Alexander Levitniko, and he mysteriously died after revealing this interesting information. Many suspect that the Russian government and Putin assassinated him. Do you believe that the Russian government sent these criminal groups to the UK and London to increase crime rates and give more power to street gangs and criminals? Wow, these 10 vicious gangs make the streets of Britain seem like a dangerous place. Do you think there are much more bigger and more dangerous gangs in the UK operating on the streets? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to check out our other binge-worthy videos popping out right now on the left and right side of your screen. See ya.